All right, so today we're talking about if you had $1 million when you retired, and I hope all of you are working towards that goal, but if you had $1 million when you retire and you had to pick a state to live in where your money would last the longest, which states are they? All right, $1 million for retirement. Now, I don't know if that's too much for you or if that's too little. It depends on what your retirement goals are. And this is why working with someone like Jazz Wealth is so important. We work with you on your goals. Are you 20 years from retirement and all you want to do is have a lake house and sit there and enjoy that with your family? Or are you someone who says, I'm going to bust my ass while I'm young, but when I retire, I want to travel the world, I want to take luxury cruises, I might even want to fly on a private jet? Well, whatever the case is, we build portfolios specifically for you. We're not one of those automated investment services that just picks 10 stocks or 10 exchange-traded funds and hopes for the best. And we're not one of those large firms that just tries to sell you something once a year and, you're on your own, let's see what happens. All right, so $1 million, it's a nice round number, and the Bureau of Labor and Statistics is where we're getting this information. They keep track of everything. If you go to their website, I mean anything, inflation, the cost of milk, kitty litter, whatever, jobs, anything, they keep track of this stuff. So they're gonna let us break this down here. And what we're gonna do is set a couple ground rules. We're gonna pretend that right now is the day you're going to retire and you have $1 million, okay? We're also gonna say that you're 65 years old because we're gonna talk about some medical costs and stuff inside of that, okay? So let's go through it. Now, in this study, we're gonna take into account housing, healthcare, grocery costs, transportation, and the utilities that you would pay, okay? So when you get to see these states here and we talk about this, that's what we're kind of bunching all together and using to decide the best states here. Now, we are not going to take into account things like travel, right? Just because you go move to a state where maybe it's $1 million lasts you a long time, doesn't mean you're not going to go visit family or want to travel to another state. So, it's not a perfect study, so just keep that in mind. All right, well, I hope you like the South because the South pretty much dominates the top of this list. And let's get started here. So the first place, $1 million will last you 26.3 years in this state. And what this means is, so we said you're gonna retire when you're 65. You could live to be 91 years old and still have money. 26.3 years, and the state is, can you guess? It's Mississippi. Like, who thinks about Mississippi as a state you can go retire to? But 26.3 years. Number one, they have the best housing, lowest housing costs, best healthcare costs, lowest healthcare costs, grocery costs, transportation's abundant, and the utilities won't cost you a fortune. Probably because you're living in the South, you don't have to turn the heater on too much. And so Mississippi ranks as number one, 26.3 years. Number two, still in the South here, Arkansas. I've never been to Arkansas. Maybe there's a reason to visit. I can't think of any reason at the moment. If you're from Arkansas, I'm sorry if I offended you there. But if you're living in Arkansas, you have $1 million, you're in good shape because in Arkansas, 25.5 years. And right behind that's Oklahoma. Oklahoma comes in at 25.1. That's a long time. So $1 million really stretches out far. So when you read these studies online that show you need $10 million to retire, you don't, right? Now, if you want to go travel the world in a private jet, okay, $10 million bucks, right? We need to get to work. But other than that, this is going to do the trick. You don't have to move to Belize or Costa Rica. That's really popular right now for some reason. Same with tiny houses. What's the deal with tiny houses? Tiny houses seem to cost just as much as a first home. I don't get that. All right, let's head to the north. In fourth place is Michigan. Not bad, right? Michigan, that's not a bad state. So that comes in fourth and just barely 25 years on the dot is how long $1 million would last you in Michigan. Now the next groups here, if you're just kind of wondering if your state fits in here, the next group all kind of work right around that 24.8 years. So you can see it's very, very close. The next states are Tennessee, Georgia, Missouri, Texas, and Indiana. All right, if you want to see the worst states that you can live in, I'm sure you can probably guess a couple of them. I could guess a few without even looking at the study. But if you want to see the worst states to live in for retirement where $1 million is not going to last you very long at all, probably less than a car loan, depending on your car. Go to our new blog. We're on Medium. If you go to medium.com, just search Jazz Wealth. We posted a blog there. It's got a nice little picture that shows you each state and the worst states, actually. And we're going to go over those worst states for you so you know what state to avoid. Hey, if you have a retirement account and you want to work with somebody who's going to build a portfolio for you and your goals, whether you want to own a winery, a flight school, I hate those commercials, by the way. If whatever it is you want to do, if you want a simple little condo on the water when you grow to retirement, or you want to travel the world in luxury, we build portfolios for you. You can go to our website, click at the top, schedule a call, put in the local time for me, and I will call you whenever that time is that you've set up for us. And I hope to talk to you soon.